Okay, we start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unified Purpose, the podcast where we share inspiring tales of compassion, resilience, and community spirit. I'm your host, Oliver, Penji's nonprofit community coordinator, and I'm joined here with a very special guest, Stephen Hunsley. We're going to call him Doc Hunsley from SOAR Special Needs. Thank you so much for joining me today, Doc.
Oh, it's my honor. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate that. So, before we dive into the podcast and talk about more about your organization, we are gonna warm up with a quick game that I like to call Pitch Me This. You'll have up to 30 seconds to pitch me a totally silly business idea. And are you ready? I got the prompt ready right
Let's
here.
let's do it.
Okay, so the prompt for today is okay, this is a realistic one. A theme park based entirely on office supplies. Go.
You know what? We need to get a park for teens that is all on with office supplies. We can make a slide out of a stapler that is raised up and they can slide down, have these giant ones, and just have them where they can build a wall with sticky notes, be able to put little tacks in it, and turn that into a climbing wall. There's going to be so many things. It's a ginormous office supply park for teenagers. And then they'll be able to even have a skateboard park where they're going to be able to jump up with their skateboard, slide on some of these pencil or pins rails, and just have a blast. So it'll be a place for everybody that is all based on office supplies.
I'm convinced, actually. I want to buy that idea right now.
Absolutely.
Actually, I thought about maybe the snacks can be like little clips,
Oh,
let's
there
say
you go.
little
Yeah.
clips that,
Yeah.
but made of, cookie mass or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, it's one of the best ideas that we had here in a while, actually. So yeah, good to know, Doc. Good to know that we have
Yeah.
a
Different
very
one.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yep,
Someone can do it now.
we can do it
Get
now. We
with
can do it.
Office Depot and you're set.
I wanna go there now. Actually, wanna clock in my 9 to 5 and go to a theme park based on my office.
There you go.
Well, to start us off, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your story with SOAR?
Yeah. So my name's Stephen Hunsley. Everyone knows me as Doc. They call me Doc because I'm actually a pediatrician. I was worked in a pediatric emergency room, and uh, my story is I got sick taking care of my patients and almost died. Should have died.
Oh,
Spent got sick taking care of my patients and spent over 46 days in the intensive care unit. Top four diagnoses on my chart. Each one by itself had a 0.01 survival rate. Doctors did not expect me to survive. I was so sick they forgot to give me nutrition. As a result, I lost 75 pounds of muscle mass. Had to go through 9 months of rehab just to be able to walk again. I was an athlete all my life. I'm a veteran of the Air Force, and all of a sudden I had zero exercise tolerance. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs to our master bedroom without almost passing out. And so it took me over a year to get through my rehab to be able to walk again, build up my strength, had my flu shot, went back to work. Second day on the job, I ended up with influenza, and that put me back in the intensive care unit, where once again I almost died. And they then determined that I'm the only known person in the world, something you never want in medicine, the only main person in the world where the main muscle allows you to breathe is the diaphragm, it goes across your abdomen. And that's what allows you to breathe. And that my diaphragm, half of my diaphragm is paralyzed. It's paralyzed on the right. If it was completely paralyzed, I'd be dead. If I had abnormal lungs like asthma, I'd be dead. My dad and brother both have asthma. So God had his hand on me, allowed me to survive that. And as a result, I only have 40% lung function. That's why I'm always short of breath and have zero exercise tolerance. Made it through that hospitalization, went back to work. Excuse me, right after that hospitalization, my second son was born. I'm blessed with three kids, and my second son, Mark, was born. Took a week off paternity leave, came back to work, got called into an important meeting at the main hospital, went downtown, and every one of my bosses was there, from immediate boss to the chief of staff. the entire HR department, 3 rows of attorneys I never met before, 2 rows of physicians I never met before, and one chair facing the entire room. And they said, Dr. Hunsley, that's your seat. We'll start the meeting. I'm like, holy cow, I see the writing on the wall. And pretty much they had informed me that I'd been a great doctor. However, I became a medical legal risk to the hospital, and they were afraid I'd get sick and could die. And they then determined that they were not going to terminate my job. Instead, they terminated my career and decided I would never practice medicine again. I couldn't even change
Wow.
specialties. I wasn't even allowed to be a janitor in the hospital. I was banned from the hospital. And I was escorted out of the hospital by security, and that was the end of my medical career, literally in a heartbeat. All I ever wanted to do since I was in first grade was be a pediatrician. I was in what I thought was my dream job for 26 days when I got sick. I then, went home and I took the hardest job I ever had in my life then, and that was become Mr. Mom for my 2 boys. When my son Mark was 8 months old, he had his first seizure, lasted over 4 hours. By the time he was 18 months old, got the diagnosis of Dravet syndrome, very rare genetic seizure disorder. And then by the time he was 2, got the diagnosis of profound autism. My wife's a pediatrician as well. We went from being physicians taking care of a lot of kids with special needs to now being a parent of a child with special needs. And for the first time in our life, we finally understood how difficult it is to be a parent. It's 24/7, 365. The stress is sky high. In fact, I can't tell you how many times I've been in public with my son where complete strangers would come up to me and tell me I'm not just a bad parent, I'm a horrible parent. Or on 5 occasions, he's harming himself, and a police officer, and I'm protecting him, and a police officer would come up to me, pull a gun on me, and threaten to arrest me or tase me because they think I'm endangering my son. That's everyday life for families with individuals with disabilities. And then 15 years ago now, my son was cured of everything when he was born into heaven at the age of 5.5. So we were blessed with him for 5.5 years, from the highs and lows of being a parent, then walked through the grief of losing a child. And 10 months after his passing was when we launched SOAR, SOAR Special Needs. SOAR stands for Special Opportunities, Abilities, and Relationships. And we're a nonprofit that exists to transform the lives of special families and empower them to soar in their local and faith communities. And we help answer the 3 main questions that every family with an individual with disability has. Will my child ever be able to provide for themselves? Who will take care of my child once I'm gone? And who will take care of me as a parent or a caregiver? Those are 3 questions that are taboo for families. We help answer those with all of our programming. We host the nation's largest disability day camp in the country. We do respite on a monthly basis. We do proms, fashion shows, teens and adult social clubs. You name it, we do it, along with citywide. We're based in Kansas City, along with citywide sensory Easter egg hunts, sensory Santas, sensory trunk or treats, everything we can do to come alongside families and help them in all that they do. And then we want to help these individuals to truly be able to soar. And right now we're working now towards starting job training for them, because today 28.6% of the US population has a diagnosis of special needs or disability, making them the largest minority group in the United States. Nobody knows about that. And so we want to come alongside and help serve this largest minority group that gets the least amount of funding. Less than 2% of all funding in the United States goes to individuals with special needs. So we're trying to stand in the gap and help them to be able to truly soar in every aspect of their life and become the individuals that God's intended them to be.
Wow, that's great to hear, Doc. You have quite a story. My condolences about your son,
Thank you.
and I think that you've been through many challenges in both the personal and the family parts of your life,
Mm-hmm.
which I commend for you for staying strong, for staying here with us, helping other people. And speaking of challenges, um, I see that how many years has SOAR been around so far?
Yeah, so September of 25 will mark 14 years for us. So we are, one of the best kept secrets, but we're trying to serve as many families as we can. We're currently serving over 1,500 families with disabilities. We take all ages, diagnoses, and severities. For our camps, we have families come from all over the country to come to it, as well as volunteers. This year, well, again, we're in Kansas City. This year, we even had some people come from Alaska
Yeah.
with it because there's just nothing like what we're doing for them, and so we're just scratching the surface, and so much more needs to happen.
Yeah, and now that your organization has been around for a long time, what do you feel like? For example, now you tell me that just recently I saw in the news too that about your camp. You had people from all around the country coming um, to be there. But what about the early years of SOAR? What do you feel like was one of the biggest challenges in those days?
One of the biggest challenges has always been just two things. One, always funding. That's always a
Yep.
big issue. And then second part is marketing, trying to be able to get the word out with who we are and what we do. Everything takes money, and it's hard to let people know what we do and how well we do things. At the same time, we do things at such a high level and such great quality. A lot of uh, people think we're operating with about a $7+ million budget and that we don't need the help. Well, I don't take a salary. I put everything right back into the organization. I've got we only have two full-time employees, and we are high quality and really work hard to do what we do. We're not even a $500,000 organization revenue wise. So we're a small nonprofit that acts like a big one. So from the get go, our problem is we're always acting bigger than we really are because we're so passionate about serving these families. So for us, it's being able to find the funds so that we can serve the families that we want and do more that we want, and raise that community awareness, because most people just don't understand how difficult it is to be a parent of a child with special needs. When you're a parent of a child, a typical parent, we automatically have dreams that, my child is going to grow up, go to high school, graduate, want to go to college, have a degree, get married, have grandkids, move out of the house, get married, have grandkids, and we end up being empty nesters and all that. Well, once you get a diagnosis of special needs, those dreams disappear. You actually grieve losing the child of your dreams, because all of a sudden now we know our child most likely is not going to ever be able to live on their own. They're going to need help. They may not be able to get a job. They may not be able to go to college because society is stacked against them. And we need more organizations like SOAR to come alongside and help them with that. So that's always, and it was in the early days and it remains today, the biggest complication for us is getting the funds and then having the funds to do the marketing that we need to get more volunteers, to get more funding, to get more families, so that we can do even more.
Wow, that's incredible to hear. That there's this constant problem of funding, marketing, but you guys have been staying there, staying strong, continuing the work. But if those things are something that you have seen that have not changed much or at all in all of these years, um, what are things that you feel like do have changed and grow during that time?
Yeah, so some of the things that have changed are just more awareness in the community as we share. I love sharing our story. I love sharing what we do with families, and people realize then the need. I'm always trying to get volunteers to help work with us, and when people hear special needs or disabilities, they're always afraid. I always say, hey, you don't need to be afraid. We got one requirement for you to work with an individual with special needs. And it's a simple question. Oliver, can you be a friend? That's all it takes. It starts with being a friend. You don't have to understand disabilities. It starts with just being a friend to them. They desperately want to have a friend who's there to be with them, to be able to talk with them, communicate with them, and just spend time with them. They long for that. We all long for friendship.
Yeah.
They do too. Let's give that to them. And I try to teach people, hey, when we're out in public, if we see a teenager or middle schooler with special needs, Down syndrome, whatever it is, ask them, hey, what do you want to do when you're done with high school? What do you want to do when you get older? Society, we don't ask that question because society is teaching us hey, they're not able to do anything. That's wrong. They still have hopes and dreams, just like you and I do. Let's instead ask them and let's help them get those. Let's remove the problems in society. The problem in the world of special needs and disability, we don't have a big voice who's an influencer like so many other groups do out there. So I'm trying to be a voice for these families because these families work so hard to try to pour into their family. Where we're improving, we're getting a lot more help. We're having more places offering respite and doing things like that. So we're seeing a lot of great help there. We just need more of everything. We need more
Yeah.
people to realize, hey, it just takes being a friend. And I promise you're going to be more blessed than what you give to these individuals because they have so much love and compassion that they give. And you can't help but have a great time when you work with them. So I'm encouraged by seeing people loving it. That's why we have such a high success rate with our volunteers and high retention rate. They love joining with us. And the thing that I'm really love that we've seen is our youth today are completely passionate about serving individuals. And I love getting youth involved and having the youth stand up and serve. And a lot of people give youth today a bad rap saying they're not dedicated, not want to do anything. That's wrong. Youth today are amazing. If we challenge them and hold them to the same expectations as adults, they're going to rise to the occasion. And we had our camp this summer where we had 217 campers, ages 3 to 72, with every disability you can think of. And we had over 650 volunteers, probably
Wow.
over 75 to 80% of them were teenagers. And it was so cool to watch them serve and just love being a friend with them. So that's what I've seen is working, is getting the teens in. And I'm hoping that's going to make a change in the next generation as they're learning to accept these individuals with disabilities. We're going to see change in the future where we truly will accept everybody around us, even if they don't look like us.
Yeah, this is like a snowball effect. The teenagers of today, when they grow up, their children, their grandchildren, they're gonna know, they're gonna grow with this inherent respect for people with disabilities, and they're gonna help. They're gonna be there too.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that you mentioned and that I also saw in the news that was very interesting was about the Camp SOAR.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that event? You told me that there were a lot, and
Yeah.
many people from all around the country.
Yeah, so we host the nation's largest disability day camp. We do it every summer where we take all ages, diagnoses, and severities. We start at age 3, and we are in Kansas City. So we're right on the border of Missouri and Kansas. So we do one camp on the Missouri side, one camp on the Kansas side. And this year we had 217 campers, ages 3 to 72. And then we take volunteers for it. And so we had over 650 volunteers, and we have families come from all over the country because there's nothing like it. So for 8 hours a day for 5 days, we have programming for them. And that provides families 40 hours of respite care that is so desperate for them. We do charge for the camp. It's $500 for the week. If you break it down by hour, it's only $12.50 an hour. I have a full medical team, full behavior team, but it costs us $1,300 a camper. So I have to find funding to make up that extra
Yeah.
$700, $800 a camper with it. But we focus on one's abilities, not their disabilities. We have a theme every year. We're getting ready already. We're planning for 2026, and we're excited to announce our theme for 2026 will be soaring for the cup. The World Cup is
Awesome.
coming to Kansas City, so we are doing a World Cup soccer theme for our camp and going to have just a ton of fun with that.
Let's
And
go.
that's right. Let's go for the goal. And it's going to be a ton of fun. We're trying to see if we can maybe partner with any of the soccer clubs and just have some of the excitement. We do have some adaptive soccer we do and just different things like that. But we have events indoor and outdoor all day, crafts, sensory, stories. We do all kinds of things to just give these individuals a great experience that they don't normally get to do. And we just have a ton of fun. But everybody is welcome, no matter what their level of ability is. we have something that everybody can participate in. And we have it at the level that they're going to truly enjoy and have a great experience. A lot of our campers literally talk about our camp all year long and can't wait for it for the next year. And that's what we love seeing.
What a great experience for them. And I love the way that you promoted even more inclusivity. You know, there are people with many different kind of disabilities that can go there, can have fun, can play soccer if they want, and hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers right here. Hopefully, for the World Cup on the camp next year, you got more sponsors like the clubs or even the FIFA. Who knows?
Oh,
Hopefully, cross my fingers.
absolutely. So yeah, if anyone with FIFA is out there listening to this, contact us at SOAR.
Please go.
SOARspecialneeds.org. We want to talk. We're trying to find how we can make this happen, but I know FIFA has a heart for individuals with disabilities. How about let's show it by helping support the nation's largest disability day camp right where we're having some of the sites. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and we want to celebrate these individuals' abilities, not their
Yeah.
disabilities, and let them have a great experience that they don't otherwise get to have.
That's great to hear. So, besides Camp SOAR, which I saw in the news and you told to me about, which I feel like is a great success for SOAR, what do you feel like are other programs or services that SOAR provides that you feel people may not know enough about?
Yeah,
Maybe you want to introduce it to them?
absolutely. So we also do respite on a monthly basis, where on a Friday or Saturday we give parents 3 hours off, and we take care of their individual with disability and their siblings. Today, the divorce rate for families with special needs is 90%, 90.
Wow.
You add a medical illness like diabetes or seizures, it jumps to 95%. And the reason is you can't just get the neighbor girl to babysit for you. So we provide these evenings. We feed all the volunteers, feed all the kids, and again, take all ages, all diagnoses, severities. We have a full medical team, full behavior team, and just give these parents a chance to go relax, do whatever they want for a few hours. So we do that every month. We do a teen social club, adult social club, because our individuals miss out on community, especially our adults. As soon as they graduate high school, all their friends move off to college or get jobs, and they're left behind. And all of a sudden, all their community is gone, and they don't have the friends. And society is brutal with adults with disabilities and just turns their back on them. And the government has cut funding for most adult services. So there's very little out there. So we're trying to help them with that. We do parent support groups, caregiver 411s, where we give parents and caregivers information on how they can be a better caregiver. We also do something called Christmas Blessings. And this is something I'm super excited about, where at Christmas every year, we adopt families who cannot provide for Christmas. So families with special needs, we don't just adopt the individual with special needs. We
Yeah.
adopt the siblings, we adopt the parents, we provide Christmas for all of them. We get gift cards for gas and groceries, so they actually have a meal at Christmas time and truly bless them. So last year we were able to adopt 70 families in the greater Kansas City area
Wow.
and 30 families in Kenya, Africa. So this year we're hoping to increase it even more. The other thing we're passionate about is we believe everybody should be able to go to a place of faith that they're choosing, whatever that is. Today in the United States, less than 11% of churches, parishes, synagogues welcome families with disabilities. 89% turn them away and say you're not welcome. And so SOAR and myself, we are one of the leaders in the world and come alongside places and training you how to create programming, how to train volunteers, how to put something in place to welcome families with disabilities into your place of faith. And today, up to date, today, I've now trained over 700 churches, parishes, synagogues throughout the United States and 22 countries around the world. And we're constantly trying to see what we can do next. We also were hopefully in the next year going to start job training, where we can assist adults with disabilities in getting jobs, training employers on how to employ them. And then the next step after that will be to be able to get some housing, because there's just not enough housing for adults with disabilities, especially as their parents are aging and can't take care of them anymore.
Yeah,
They're going to need somewhere to live. And so we want to see how we can assist with that. So those are just some of the things we're doing, but we're constantly trying to grow and see how we can help our individuals in every aspect of their life be the absolute best possibility that they can be.
that's great to hear, Doc. And I think that just confirms one of the thoughts, one of the many thoughts that I had, because I talk with a lot of nonprofits, and I realized that all of them, because they work so closely with individuals that they try to help, be it homelessness, be it nutrition, be it families, they gain very important insights or perspectives that not a lot of people truly understand or even can even begin to to think about.
Right.
So, Doc, you have a platform here. What is that one insight or perspective you wish more people truly understood about your experience working with these individuals?
Yeah, and for me, it's that word perspective. That's my key word in life. For me, I could sit here and have the perspective. You know what? Now lost two major careers. I've lost my health. I've lost my son, and I could really be upset at life. I could be mad at God for everything that's happened. But instead, I can truly be thankful for all that because it's allowing me to do what I'm doing today. And I'm more passionate about what I'm doing today than I ever was about being a physician, which I never thought was possible. But the thing to realize is we have to stand up and fight for individuals with special needs and disabilities. Like I shared, it makes up 28% of the population. According to the CDC, that number is going to be 37% by the end of 2025, one out of
Wow.
every three. And it's the only it's the only minority group that we can all join at some point in our lifetime. For every one person you see with a disability, there are four more people with a hidden disability. I'm disabled. I only have 40% lung function. I don't look disabled, but I am. My son had autism and profound seizures. He looked completely normal neurotypically when you looked at him. It wasn't until you spent time with him. That's why so many people told me that, hey, I'm not just a bad parent, I'm a horrible parent. Because when he was having, a meltdown, they thought it was bad parenting. So things that we can learn is one, today, if you ever see a elementary age child or middle schooler that's out who's air quote misbehaving, guys, that's not misbehavior. That's most likely an autistic meltdown. Autism today is one out of every 31 kids for the numbers in 2025. And so, most likely, it's autism, and we need to understand it. At the same time, if we are not fighting for individuals with disabilities and special needs now, we may be fighting for it at one point when we're disabled. It's the only minority group that 100% of us will join in our lifetime if we live long enough. We all become disabled at some point. And too many times we wait until the end to fight for it once we're there, but then we can't fight. So we all need to step up and realize we've got to take care of this population that is growing and doesn't have the resources. It's the last place to get money and the first place to get cut. Special needs in schools get cut all the time. In any area, it's always the first place to be cut. Guys, that should not be the first. It's the largest percent of our population, and we need to serve that. So, what we need to do is we need to stand up for those and fight for this large group. Just because we don't have major voices out there fighting for it doesn't mean this population doesn't need help. We need people contacting our congressmen, our senators, our congresswomen, everybody, and letting them know, hey, we need to have laws in place to help them. It's
Right.
also, people don't have any clue about this. Individuals with special needs and disabilities, it's the only population in the United States that it's legal in the majority of states to pay subminimum wage just because they're disabled. You can
Wow.
pay pennies on the dollar. It's not right. That is true
Not fair.
discrimination. And that's wrong. We've got to step up and do what's right. But part of the reason they do that is the government says if an individual with special needs makes X amount of money, they lose their benefits. Guys, we've got to step up and do what's right. and change laws and help. So step up and help fight so that we can get individuals with special needs and disabilities the rights that they need and deserve, because one day that's going to be what you need.
I love that. I love that kind of thought. Like everyone, be it teenagers volunteering for the camp or adults calling their congressman for more information on how to change things, you involve a broad community in the mission of SOAR special needs. It's great to
Absolutely.
hear. It's great to hear, Doc. I feel like that's like a kind of the role that SOAR is shaping how society views and supports individuals with disabilities in the years ahead. You are making them be seen, be heard, and you're fighting for them. You're giving them a fighting chance. It's like that phrase that says, "Today me, tomorrow you." You're helping. You are there.
Absolutely.
And for any volunteers that might be listening, and even a community that might be listening too, how will you involve them in your mission?
Yeah, so we're always looking for people to help. And there's many ways you can do. First, you can always check us out. Go to our website, soarspecialneeds.org. And again, SOAR is SOAR, like soar
Yep.
like an eagle. Soarspecialneeds.org. You can learn about everything we do. We need board members. We need to help grow our board so that we can do more. And you don't have to live in Kansas City. Guys, we are looking to have SOAR be a national organization one day. We're eventually going to have SOAR in every major city because this is needed in every major city. We just need help getting there. So we need help. If people are interested in doing that, talk to us. We need people who would be willing to support us and as financial donors, whether it be on a monthly basis or one time, or maybe your business. Maybe you sit here and say, you know what, I love the idea with the Christmas blessings. Our company wants to adopt a family, or we'll take care of the meals. We'll
Yeah.
provide money for that. Those are things you can contact us wherever you live for it. You can always come and volunteer with us. You can come from all over the country and come serve at our camp, whether it be 1 day, 3 days, 5 days. We would love to have you do that. And obviously, if you're living in Kansas City, we want, you got opportunities where we've got something literally every week. If you're a family, if you have an individual with disability, you can come and do things with us. We have like our caregiver support groups and our caregiver things. Those are all on Zoom, and we have those, every month or weekly for some of them, where you can get on and get the information you need and help out. But also, if you're living in another city, another state, another country, and you might have some time and you're like, I'd love to see how I can help SOAR. Let us know. We want to find what you're passionate about, what you're good with, and then we'll find how you can plug in. Maybe you can help us with some of our administrative things and volunteer with that. You don't have to live where we're at to do that. We can work through that. So we would love to have you any way possible to contact with us and help us. You can also email us at info@soarspecialneeds.org. Again, info at soarspecialneeds.org. And we want to help this community become the absolute best they can. So please think about it and come SOAR with us.
Great to hear that phrase, soar, flying. We are moving towards the future, and that this is something that I always like to end with. What do you see SOAR doing in the next 5 years? Do you have any big projects or goals you're especially excited about?
Absolutely. So within 5 years, I see SOAR having a full job development program where we will be training individuals with disabilities to have employment. I think we can get them employed in areas that they're passionate about, not just what the current environment says. Usually people say they can only work as a greeter or in food industry or in janitorial or in gardening or something like that. They can do anything they want. So let's find out what that is and let's help get them trained for that. It might be, a few hours, it might be, 40 hours a week. Let's help them there. We also need to train employers to know how to have individuals with disabilities work there. There's studies out there that show if you have an individual with disabilities work for you, the profitability of your business increases 28%. What business does not want to see a 28% profitability increase? If you want to learn more about that, contact us again at info@soarspecialneeds.org. I'm happy to talk with you about that. And then we're going to, hopefully in 5 years, we'll be able to start our housing projects. And then right around then, we'll be able to then start launching SOAR in other cities. So maybe you live in another city and love what we're doing. Let's start talking and see how we can do this, because we can start training, see how we can do our respites in other cities, and maybe eventually our camp can happen in other cities, because we need this replicated in every major city in the country, and because is a need everywhere, and there just is not enough happening. So we need people to link arms with us who believe in this population that I promise you will be blessed. Let's make a difference together and stand up for those who don't have a voice, for those who can't fight for themselves, for the families who are worn out and completely beat down all the time. Let's stop telling them all the time what they can't do, and let's start telling them, guys, we believe in you. We love you. Let's help you out. Let's come alongside SOAR and say, guys, let's soar together and be the absolute best that we can be.
That's great to hear, Stephen. And with that hopeful vision of the future, we'll wrap up today's conversation. Thank you so much for sharing the work SOAR Special Needs does and the impact it's making in the community. For anyone listening, if you'd like to get involved, whether by fundraising or volunteering, as our doc said, you can check out the links in the description. As always, thank you all for watching. And Doc, thank you once again for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Very,
Yeah.
very
Bye
appreciative.
bye.
See you.